Everybody's looking fresh. Except for you, Coke. Coke looks like you've maybe had a little spirits last night for Halloween. Feeling a little bit of the Halloween mood, little spirits.
Yep. Laying out a few fights for taste.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Hey, Wolf, now that I look at you, you look more like Hunt than I do.
Hey, I try to keep that backstage, brother. You bring that out? No, that ain't working, man. I got Owen Schmitt. Looks like he's just ready to join the Amish. Maybe too much of a mustache. I don't know. I guess you have to go without the mustache. Looks like Mikey Collins there. He made it up. Mr. Shoulder Pads made it up there from Florida, man. And now there's South Carolina. Of course, we got Darius Stills, our youngest legend on the show. Ready to rock and roll. Give us some good info. Drop some knowledge on Mountaineer Nation. Aaron Beasley, I think, is trying to figure stuff out right now. Major Harris. You got to like this move, even though you've seen it. You can move now. That was after Major lined up under me at the right guard position. Major, that Rutgers guys are laughing so hard that Major went out there and made that move. We lost Mike DC there, Mike Collins. Mike here.
Hi, my name is James Schmitt, and I'm from Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. And when I'm back home in the Pittsburgh area, you can find me at my local Par-Mar store.
We had that golden boot pride at Par-Mar. There are literally hundreds of Par-Mar stores in West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, and Pennsylvania, and even more on the way. Download the Par-Mar app to save even more. And whether it's food, gas, groceries, or whatever, we have you covered at Par-Mar. West Virginia proud and ready to serve you.
If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Where the true Koken Blue Faithful go for the best in beer, burgers, pizza, wings, and more? It's the Mountaineer Tap House on the Evansdale campus. Mountaineer Tap House features well over 40 craft beers on tap, plus the best appetizers, salads, burgers, wings, pizza, and tacos the University City has to offer. Enjoy their exclusive craft cocktails, too. Dine on the balcony or chill out outside with walls and walls of TVs. Follow Mountaineer Tap House on social media. Mountaineer Tap House, second floor above the Par-Mar store on the Evansdale campus.
Yeah, sure. And that is a good morning to you, Mountaineer Nation, wherever you may be. We hope that you are joining us today for the Mountaineer Legends pregame with myself, the Wolfman, and big bad Brian Joswiak, who believes that he looks like he's the cousin of Brad Hunt, and he's ready to roll today for the TCU Horned Frogs. And we got a bunch of legends with us. We're out here with Kevin Koken from the 1988 team captain of the national team that we lost to the national championship to Notre Dame and the Fiesta Bowl. And then, of course, we got the beer truck, Owen Schmitt, who actually won the Fiesta Bowl against the Oklahoma Sooners. Schmitty, good morning to you, man. And then next we had Darius Stills, our youngest, our newest consensus All-American legend. He Stills ready to drop some knowledge. And then there's Major Harris. You can see I'm just going across the board here. And Mage is our Mr. College All-American and had his number retired permanently from the Mountaineer football program. And then we have Mr. Pads, Mikey Collins, team captain, Mr. I'm a bad dude, thinking that he's tougher than Aaron Beasley. So whatever happened to Beasley, we don't know. I'm sure he's floating around down there somewhere. Gentlemen and Joes, how you doing this morning?
Wolf, I'm freaking man. It's just game day. That's all I got to say. Regardless of what's happened in the past, not looking ahead. It's game day right now in Morgantown, man, and we're in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, jamming at the Charleston Sports Pub. Bunch of Mountaineer fans going to be here with these guys, and hopefully we can ride this thing into a victory. Hey, big things have happened, Wolf. Bigger things have happened. I get it. TCU strong and all that stuff, but hey, we go in there and put a complete game together. A couple things happen, go our way. Hey, that'd be a big win to have. A lot of people would forget about some of the stuff that's going on. A win, a victory today would be dynamite for us.
Yeah, it sure would be, Joe's. But before we get started, man, why don't you tell me about what's going on, where you're at, who's dropping some silverware all over the countertops, and what's happening down there in Charleston, South Carolina?
Well, hey, man, Wolf, they're getting ready, man. They're getting ready for a bunch of Mountaineer fans to storm in and watch this football game today, because they couldn't be up there in Morgantown celebrating homecoming, but they're going to be right here with us celebrating daggone homecoming with the legends, man. And we're going to be talking football. We're going to do a live show in here with the fans at about 10:45 when we're done with our live stream. And, we're hopefully going to cheer the Mountaineers to victory. All of us want that. All of us want that. We can all, whine and moan and groan about some of the things that are going on. And quite frankly, I'm a little upset about it too. I'm a little frustrated about it. But hey, that's all water under the bridge. The hay's in the barn, baby. Today's game day. Got to play the game.
All right, Joe, that's great to hear. Kevin Koken, my man, the guy next to me, the guy who told me my first game at Ohio State to make sure I don't mess up. So you were back for a second week in a row, man. Must have done some good stuff last week. How you doing today?
I'm doing outstanding. I'm with Jozo. It's game day. Pretty excited. Last week, I think we all had some pretty good thoughts and inputs. Team to follow through on what we tell them to do.
All right. Hey, very good. You know what? I'll tell you, you were dropping some knowledge there last week, I think, if I remember right. But we'll make sure to see if you can do it 2 times in a row, which takes me down to now the beer truck, Owen Schmitt. Schmitty, man, what's going on? How is Charleston, South Carolina?
It's great, man. We're at this sport pub. Scenery is starting to look great. TV's neat little. Be fun to watch the game, man. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, you and that live crowd, and then let's take it down to D Stills. Now, D, this is your second time on. You were at the Tap House last week there in Motown, watching the Texas Tech game and breaking down from the crowd, breaking down here in the broadcast. And what's your feelings today down there in South Carolina? How are you feeling about this game?
I'm feeling good about it. We always beat TCU regardless of what they're ranked, and we always tend to play our best ball at home. So I'm excited to watch it just along with everybody else. I'm excited to see how this goes. I'm excited.
Cool, man. Excellent. How about you, Mage? What's going on down there in South Carolina for you? You get some golf in this week?
Oh, yeah. We got a little bit of golf in there. You know what I mean? The beat us in the Mets play. You know what I mean? Closes out, swung hard.
Are you saying that Joe's Mick beat you at golf?
Yeah,
I won the money. Yeah.
Wow. You know what? I'll tell you, Joe, you are on a streak, man. And then that, of course, congratulations. You beat Major Harris. I'm telling you, from everything I understand, Mage, you're a good golfer. I don't know what happened. You must have given him some strokes there, and it's been pretty fair because I hear you're a pretty good golfer.
I'm getting better. Mike hit a lucky shot, though. That's what it was. He landed on the green. You know what I mean?
Oh, you say to Mikey C, man. Mikey C. So you hit the shot, huh? What's going on with your golf game down there in Charleston?
It was fun. It's always good to hang out with the fellas and get on the golf course. And Mate has a little bit more game than he leads on. Surprisingly, pretty good golf game. But good time, man. I'm like you guys. I'm looking forward to the game today. See how we play. See if we can put out a good effort.
Yep. You know what I call it? I'm calling it hope for homecoming. Hope that the Mountaineers can play like Mountaineers do. Not like they did down there in Texas Tech, not like they did down in Texas or in Austin. I want to see a team that when they come home, they play pretty well, just like against the Baylor Bears, a team that competes. And I'm really interested to see what team comes out today, because that team last week, I really didn't recognize, but I'm hoping to see the young brothers out there, our young brothers out there, ready to go today, fired up, and ready to take it to TCU, because you can make some noise today with a victory. You can make some noise. There's no moral victories. Go out there and win and finish it. Play 4 quarters, and a lot can be said for this Mountaineer football team. And you still would be at a 500 record with 4 games left to make your own little noise there and make the best out of this season and get out of these doldrums that I feel like everybody feels like that we are in. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and start us off, and let's hear from Neil Brown about the offensive play last week, and we'll talk about it.
Start with offense, but just poor performance. Didn't play good enough in any position. You had 4. I felt like the 2 keys to the game going into it were going to be, or 3 keys were going to be turnovers, rushing, and ability to score touchdowns in the red zone. We turned the ball over 4 times. And then the struggle to run the ball consistently. And we didn't win versus man coverage. And so if you don't do either of those, it's going to be a struggle.
Well, as we were saying, going into the Baylor game, we all talked about it. Since 2002, the Mountaineers were 95-14 when winning the turnover battle. After that game, they're now 96-14. Turnovers killed us last week, 4 turnovers. And then, of course, offensively speaking, the receivers cannot get off of man coverage. If you remember the Texas game, I'm setting this up so you guys remember this. The Texas game, they were all over our receivers, and they weren't getting the separation that they needed. Same thing with Texas Tech. You know what? I'm going to start with you on this. And, what do you think about the offense last week? What did you not like? What did you like? Was something you liked? Go ahead, man. Schmitt.
I'd say probably the things that I did not like from last still struggling in the special teams game. We had that bobbled punt. Still trying to find what's going on back there. And just turn general poor. It was upsetting to see running backs go down. That was kind of how we were going to slow them down. So we got our hand injuries, and how our game is going to be. What happens?
Yep, absolutely. Now let's go to you, Koken. What did you see when you were watching that Texas Tech game and the offense? And you know about turnovers, man. Turnovers can kill you, and obviously you can't go in down there in Lubbock into the Big 12 and expect to go and play really against a very experienced team.
Yeah, I think up front of the ball, we got bullied. We got knocked around and put their will upon us, as opposed to let's turn the tides. And there were some opportunities for us, and we let them slip away. Again, we got bullied, which in contrast, if you go to the week before, up front, I thought nose on both sides. We were owning it at each position, and then collect last week, and it's a completely different front. Again, the whole woe is me, and that guy just pushed me around.
No, I think you're right. And I even actually put out a tweet like, I have never seen a Texas Tech team beat up on a Mountaineer team physically. I've seen them get outskilled before by Texas Tech, but to go in there and physically, it really in all phases of the game. Now, Neil Brown thinks that, the special teams that played well enough to win the game on that phase. So that is a good sign. Let's go to you, Darius. Let's jump to the defense. And so what was your point of view from the offense that you were seeing there?
Like you guys completely up front. I mean, completely just getting active there. It seemed like we was just trying to get through the game instead of actually playing to win. And the way the conference up for play, like we win today versus TCU, the conference rankings are going to just be everywhere. If they lose to the last team that's last place in the Big 12, then it's all these rankings are going to be all over. So I'm just thinking we just need to just not do the same thing we did last week. We can just be able to just play. I mean, we know the culture. We all played there. We just got to be able to apply that pressure every game.
Yep. I saw you nod your head there, Mikey C. Man, what do you think about the offense when you were watching it?
It's demoralizing. It's disappointing. It's disgusting. I mean, and Darius is saying, we have a culture, and that's what our perspective is our culture, and just to see them just be physically just taking advantage of, really. And that's why you set that tweet out, Wolf, and I responded. It's disappointing. It's just extremely disappointing. The one thing that we've always depended upon, or our foundation, I should say, of West Virginia football is our physicalness. And what we don't have is a physical presence right now, and the fact that it goes up and goes down, that's the one thing that should stay consistent. And if we can start there and continue just to be consistently physical, and like Kevin said, impose our will upon our opponent as opposed to them imposing upon us, then it gives us an opportunity. But when you're constantly going up and down in the inconsistency, it just lends itself to not having success.
I agree, man. Good points. And Mage, what was this offense lacking last week from the get-go?
I just think they had our number. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's film of us the previous weeks, but it just seemed like everything we was trying to do, they was sometimes that happened after, especially a big win that we pulled out on this thing. Maybe the guys couldn't get up and over the hump. You know what I mean? To come out of our level 2 weeks in a row, because I think it kind of took a lot out of us in the Baylor game. Hanging around the whole game, and finally got on top and won the game. And maybe it was just on top of, they just seemed like they had our number.
Hey, great points, Mage. All that right there. Joes, I'm going to let you clean this one up on the offense here about how do you feel that this team played? What did you see was the major issue or issues that let down the offense in their performance last week?
You want the short list or you want all of it? No, I'm going to give you the short list. And you guys all have reiterated this and said it, and we all agree. When you're getting out physical, you gotta find a way to dig down deep and let your animal out a little bit and match that physicality. And if you can't do that, then you can't compete at this level. All right. So the out physical part of it is right here. We're all good enough, and we're all putting in the work since January. So it's between the ears, and more importantly, it's from the heart. You got to find the passion for this game. And if I'm getting my ass whipped, I'm going to tell you right now, brother, you're going to see the animal come out. And we didn't see that in the second half, especially when we were down. And that's when you got to really dig in there deep. And we got to bring it with each other. We all got to bring it. And that starts with the head guy. I got to see some emotion. I got to see some passion. I got to start seeing guys yank that animal out. If you don't know how to let it out, then you got to learn to let it out. We lost the battle on the line of scrimmage, Wolf. We had 73 yards of rushing. We had 4 turnovers. All right, you just can't win like that. Our time of possession was terrible. So offensively, we got to find a way, number one, to own the line of scrimmage, and we didn't really get that done, and that's frustrating. That's frustrating.
You know, tell me if you guys agree with this. I said last week that complementary football from all the phases was extremely important last week. Needed because of the temple of the Texas Tech Red Raiders. The whole idea that the team really had to play tight together because of all the factors that they had. And then you come out and they drop 17 on you right away. And I thought, honestly, I'm like, okay, there's the air raid. There's the storm. You get used to it. You get used to the speed, the tempo, all the adjustments that you had to be made. I thought we were okay after just 17 points. I'm like, wow, it should have been 34, the points scored on them. So again, I thought they were in good shape, but the offense never came back to complement the defense. And, defensively never came back. So again, I thought that they had a chance to weather that storm, but something happened. Something went from the Dr. Jekyll at Baylor to the Mr. Hyde, and Mage, I'm going to go with you and start out with that. What did you think about that? I think Major's frozen right there. All right. Let's go back to Schmitty. Talk to me, man.
Brother, you kind of froze up there. Little chop.
No, chop. Joe's, go ahead, man. Finish out on that.
Yeah, it's a little technical issues, probably in the internet system. I could say this too, Wolf, and we always talk about the offensive side of the ball, but I just want to throw this out there: yards after catch. All right, yards after catch. In other words, that guy catches the ball. When is he getting on the ground? And there was 233 yards after the catch. What are we doing? I mean, we got to tackle people. You got to stop them. I don't care how many yards you have. You could have 1,000 yards, but I got to tackle you before you get in the daggone end zone. All right. I don't care. You know what I mean? Between the hashes and all that stuff. Yeah, that's stats. But the ultimate stat is how many times you could push that ball across the line of scrimmage.
Well,
we got to tackle.
Let's hear from the head guy himself, and I think he kind of addresses that.
Defensively, we just made life way too easy on the quarterback. Had well over 100 yards stolen now screens, kind of catch and throws. Quick game was easily accessible, and so we were slow to fit on the run. And our fits were inconsistent, and so what that allowed them to do is get into a lot of third and fourth and short, which allowed them to stay on the field. You start getting in third and twos, and if you got a 4-down mentality, it makes it a pretty easy game to call.
Well, 4-down mentality, getting into third and twos. He thought that the team was aligned right, but it was about the missed tackles. All about the missed tackles and getting up there and then knowing where you're supposed to go. And I didn't see it. Coke, go ahead and talk about it.
You're right. That was the problem. And I'm going to tell you, for today's game, it's going to be these guys not 9.5 yards after the catch. He's kind of got it together. He's
Oh, we lost somebody there. We lost Coke at his thing. Coke, there you are.
What happened?
Coke, you're back there, buddy. Go ahead, continue.
Got it. Think about statistically, 27% of their dropbacks are screen passes, right? 32% of the passes are behind the line of scrimmage, and they're still getting 9.5 yards after the catch, and 8.2 yards per play on first down. So I think we've got to pull up. We've got to press these guys, right? We know what they're going to do, and our defensive line have got to move quickly to not. You don't have to get everything going to the quarterback. It's okay to maybe read that screen a little bit. It's okay to stay in front, and we got to stop them before they get 5 yards and certainly toward their average of 9.2 yards after catch. We've got to stop them and stifle them quickly. I'm sure Mike and Bees probably can give a lot better sort of a coverage and cornerback sort of tips than I can, but the way I see it, we got to press these guys real hard and real fast up front.
No, absolutely. Now, Darius, when you were watching the game last week, and when everything Coke says is so odd, but what were you seeing in there for everything that you needed? What were you seeing that this team needed as a spark to do something? Because you were a leader, man. You were just the captain of the defense. You know what it takes. And what did that team need?
I'll say just the main guy making plays. I mean, in order to win these big games, to make plays and have to make an impact, or less the percentages of winning the games. I know they're keying you every time, but at the same time, in order for y'all to really step up in the game, you know, keying on you, but at the same time, you're the one that's got to step up and make the plays along with a lot. But just really just having, you know, guys, your best guys step up and impact the game, make plays. Because, you know, former captain of the defense is like they're looking at me to make it. You're not like I'm somebody want other people to make plays because you're getting double teamed. But at the same time, you gotta make. You're the old guy on the team. You're the guy that's supposed to be in the NFL. You're supposed to make plays. You're supposed to be unstoppable. Basically, these younger. I remember going as a freshman year, seeing Will Greer, David Sills, Yannick Adjust, and I'm like, these guys. I'm relying. I didn't play that much at the time. I'm hoping they make plays so I can get in playing complimentary football and having your main guys make an impact. So.
No doubt. All right, so Mike Collins, just the shoulder pads again. Team captain yourself. What did you see from the defense, and what did you see that they were lacking?
Well, kind of is we're 4th and 2, and the freak 5 yards off. Come on now. Let's we know what they're going to do. They're going to a short pass to get a first down. So why don't we get up in their face? And I mean, it's almost kind of like too simple. We're just not physical on defense. We miss tackles. And we play soft coverage, and we are soft physically. It's now Major made a comment early snowballing, and then the snowball is running downfield. When you're soft defensively, you also are soft mentally, and the confidence and all those we had last week with 4th and 3. But we sent an all-out blitz, and we stopped them. We made them have to make a play, and we're not doing that. And it's like are lacking in confidence in the players, which then in turn permeates through the team, right? If they don't have confidence in yourself, and again, it's that physical, it's not redirecting receivers off of routes. It lends itself.
Well, I hear you now, Schmitt. What I'm saying is it's almost like this. Now, Coach Brown said before, he said it's almost like, and this is the Texas game, I think, is that they're lining up and the offense of Texas was playing on air because none of our defense was getting in their way. As Mike Collins said about rerouting, as Aaron Beasley has said time and time again about the rerouting. It just seems like now there was a 4th and 2, and even in my pregame, they did this against Oklahoma State. I'm talking Texas Tech. They went ahead and the 4th and 2, you knew that they were going to run a screen, and they had 2 guys out there stacked, and we only had 1 defender out there. And I'm hearing that, alignment wasn't an issue. But again, it was hurry. But I don't think that they understand what they're doing. Do you?
Yeah, it looks like they're unprepared, obviously. So it's frustrating when you're getting kind of the runaround after the replay of the game on the recaps. We can see what's kind of happening there. Obviously, got a lot of young guys there, a lot of talent, or not no talent, but not the experience of that guy who knows the defense, right? There's obviously seems to be communication that's going on from an aspect of, and just kind of like the general theme. I mean, where's the tenacity, right? Where's the tough that we lack as well? And when you're manned up and stuff like that, outside, I mean, you got to make plays, right? You got to make plays, and that's ultimately what was just frustrating. You know what I mean? The lack of toughness, lack of intensity, said the hard edge. We talked about that this morning at the cabin a little bit down here, and so it just seems like we've lost our identity.
Yep, I couldn't agree with you more. And let's go on. Let's just keep hearing what Coach has to say about this, and we'll talk about it.
And then fourth and one, there's it's they were tempoing, and so we actually got lined up. Our tempo wasn't necessarily getting lined up. We've had some issues in the past getting lined up versus tempo. That wasn't the case on Saturday. We just didn't do a very good job tackling, and we made it way too easy on the quarterback.
All right, well, let's go ahead and jump in there because now I got Mr. Beasley who's having problems there, Joe. So let's see, Beasley, jump in here and tell me about the missed opportunities that the Mountaineers had for rerouting, for playing that secondary, because I know you got something to say about it. Can you turn it on? Turn it on. Turn it on. Turn it on. Are you there?
Here we go. I'm here. I finally made it.
Can somebody please take Brian Joswiak off the controls?
Yo, he's so old school. It's hard to explain. This guy was born in the caveman days. Hey, but here we go, man. Like we talked about it last week. You know, we didn't collision receivers. We let guys run right down the middle of the field, and there has to be some kind of like look inside of yourself and do this, because the coaches, to me, have to make these adjustments, and they're not making them. Because I was talking to Mike earlier today, and we talked about how Steve Dunlap had us so trained to just be so hungry for the ball, to just be so hungry to get in the picture. You know, our drills that we ran, we chased the ball every play at practice. We chased the ball to the end zone trying to get the ball from the running backs, because we didn't want the running backs to actually score. And what we did, it became just such a pattern of the way we played that every play meant so much. There was so much fire in all of us every play because we all were accountable for each other. So when we played, it wasn't me making a play for me. I was making my play for my brothers. And when I was hustling to the ball, I was hustling to the ball because I didn't want to be that guy that didn't make the game or the touchdown saving tackle. They're not going to score because my brothers might have made a mistake, but I'm going to make up for their mistake. And what's happening when you look at our defense, there's so much confusion. I still see three guys in one zone. I still see guys running right down the middle of the field. I still see guys not getting collisions. Who's it on, the players or the coaches?
It's on both, because just from being in the building with Neil Brown and kind of with straight football, like, all right, we're going to win games. We're going to play football. With Coach Brown, it's more of, all right, let me bring my family in every Tuesday and Thursday. Let me spend hundreds of rentals to bring recruits in. At the end of the day, if you don't win games, these are the recruits you want to get. And also at the end of the day, talking about Schmitt, talking about identity. And I think the NILs was messing that up for us. We're too worried about what we on the NILs than trying to make money in the NFL. Like, I'm not that far out of college. I was there. There was no NIL. And I was like, all right, only I'm going to get my check is if I play football in order to play football to go to the NFL. But everybody, now you can make $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 sitting there taking a photo shoot with some clothes on. And I'm sitting here like, all right, money trying to make, then trying to make your money and set up for your future. But I mean, only 1%, less than 1% make it. But why would you come to play pop trying to make it to that point? Because one thing about the NFL is, I was on there for a short amount of time, so I realized everybody's on the same page. I'm saying walking through the facility. Hey, yo, still you trying to get in? I'm like, first time I've ever been asked that.
Yo, can I add to what you're saying? Yeah. The number one recruiting tool is how many players you're sending to the NFL. Exactly. The number one recruiting tool is the coaches that you bring in that can develop talent.
Exactly.
Think about how many defensive back coaches has West Virginia had in the last 20 years. Too many. There's not a foundation guy. When you got a school like LSU, you got a school like Ohio State, guys go there because they got great coaches. What do we have? I understand. Oh, we can talk. But if you're not putting guys there, you're not going to get the 4 and 5 star recruits.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You can spend all the money, you get the rentals, whatever. But if you're not sending guys to the NFL, if you're not winning games, then if I'm a 4 or 5 star with options. If I got Alabama, all of them, as an option, I'm not going to. If they give me a G-Wagon to ride around in Morgantown for a weekend, I don't care if you're going to throw me a little $50,000. I'm trying to win games so I can make more than $50,000. Like this is what they're not getting. I don't even know. Like,
no, all right.
No,
hey,
I
want to tell you something, man. Thanks for dropping that knowledge, because honestly, it's good to hear a young guy such as yourself who's just been through it, who's now seeing it. You see it for what it is and the distraction. And anytime you bring in something new into an organization such as an NIL, there's going to be issues. There's going to be, it's the wild, wild west. And that, I think it's going to have to be worked out to some degree. I think it will eventually have to be, or it'll just be complete chaos. But let me go to an old timer. I'm going to say Kevin Koken. And what is what D just said? I mean, it's a great topic he just dropped. What do you think could be happening with this team?
I'm gonna just say chaos, right? There's chaos probably in the coach's room. There's chaos in the breakout rooms, right? O-line getting in there and not like chaos, like everybody's like running around crazy, but chaos in there. There's no structure. There's no accountability. There's no, kind of check with me on what I just told you. Hey, step right, do this, hit left, chip off, and do that. I think maybe we say it, but then we don't bang it. We don't bang it in. Wolf, Coach Jacobs, if you couldn't repeat what he just said, you were going to be punished. Not physically, but you were going to be punished. And we were so clear and concise on the fundamentals of what you were supposed to do, kind of like what Bees was talking about with the D-backs and Coach Dunlap and chase the ball. But up front, I mean, you knew exactly what you were supposed to do, when you were supposed to do it, and how you were supposed to do it. There might have been some times we got maybe out-muscled, but we never got out-toughed or out-techniqued. And that's what's happening right now. And again, that's what I'm saying. It's chaos in the coach's room. It's got to be. It's chaos in the breakout rooms. And then when we're in the huddle, it probably leads to a little bit of chaos because people aren't really confident or completely sure about what they're doing, which then leads to people imposing their will on you as opposed to you're going up to the line confused or unsure, and you're not be able to use your physicality.
That's such a great point, Coach, because when you think of uncertainty, what is the biggest killer of a football player? It's being uncertain of what you're going to do. What was the first thing a coach told you when coming in as a freshman? Well, if you're going to make a mistake, at least go 100% with that mistake. We don't care. We'll correct the mistake eventually. But if you go 100% all the time and you do 100% mistake, we can accept that. But it's when you have the uncertainty, you're afraid to go ahead and go 100%. That's when you get left behind. That's when you screwed up. And that's exactly what I saw as a defense for Texas Tech. And honestly, it's exactly what I saw as a defense for the last 3 games. Coming out, when I think of that Pitt game, the defense did not look that way to me. Maybe it's because Charles Wood started that game and he was the leader back there in the secondary and they had some cohesion. But now they have all these freshmen, young guys. Aubrey Burks is going to be special, man. If he keeps his head on straight, and he's a safety, he's going to be special. He's a true sophomore who only played 4 games as a freshman. Okay, he's got a real chance. But, they're young. Mountaineer, he's a redshirt freshman. But then you go ahead and take these first-year transfer guys in there. And, I saw last week, and this is going to be the only thing I'm going to say, and we're going to move on to TCU after this. But I saw last week a corner, the receiver had 2.5 yards to go to get into the end zone. And instead of going and tackling that dude at the 2.5-yard line, probably would have scored anyways, probably because the momentum would have taken him in. But he pushed him on the shoulder pads on the 2.5-yard line. Now, this is a guy from a different program. That's not Mountaineer football. It is. I mean, you fit. Hey, we've all lost, guys. We've all lost. We all understand what it is to lose. But we didn't lose by not finishing 100%. I'm going to let you clean it up, Joes. Go ahead, and then we're going to move on to TCU.
All right. I'm ready to do that myself because you know what? We can beat the dead horse all we want. We just gotta find a way to put this thing together. And you guys talked about, he who hesitates for whatever reason. If you hesitate, you got a split second. You ain't got like 10 minutes to make a decision. You got to make a decision in 2 seconds if you have that. And you got to make sure you're in the right place, which then leads us to all of us doing our job. We all have that responsibility to do our job. And if one guy hesitates, we got a problem, Houston. And that comes during the week in practice and preparation, watching that film and studying that film as a group. We watch a lot of film by ourselves, but you watch it like a video game. We got to watch it intently to find all the little nuances that we might see on Saturday and then make the adjustment. We can't wait. There is no time to wait. We got to make adjustments. I mean, all the information that's available, you got to make adjustments right after the daggone series, and make sure you're doing what you're supposed to do. And that the younger guys, you talked about the younger guys. We got some injuries. Injuries create opportunities. Let those young guys get a little something in there. Give them, if they're going to do it the way those coaches want them to do it, and that other guy in, then get him out of there. Put the young guy in. Let him get his toast burnt a little bit a couple times. He'll figure it out. But he wants to be there, and he wants to play Mountaineer football. So give him that opportunity. All right, that's how I got my opportunity when I was a redshirt freshman. Kurt Keel sprained his ankle in the Rutgers game. Joswiak was number 2 as a redshirt freshman. I went in there at offensive tackle, and the rest is history. All right, spent the rest of my tenure there. So that's the point. These guys that are injured, hey, you're not going to play. Next. And I think I heard Brown talk about that. It creates some opportunities. So, hey, we got to play together, man. We just got to play together. That's simple. Everybody's got a job. Do your job.
Hey, Joes, keep in mind, though, you were really, really damn good and one mean son of a gun.
Yeah, well, you know what? Hey, Coke, that's the way we were trained.
Yep.
We were trained to be that. And hey, I had Scott Barrows next to me. I had Ronnie Wolfley in the backfield. I had Rob Bennett at tight end. I had, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
When you surround yourself with quality, all right, that and you have the confidence and the trust that the guy next to you is going to do his job, and he don't have to worry about me doing my job. And collectively now, we got something special. We can't be worrying about what the other guy's doing. We got to all be on the same page. We got to all work as a machine, man. All them pieces working together to solve the problem. And the problem is, hey, man, how are we going to win this game? We got to solve that problem each and every play and take it right to the end. Like Wolf said, man, fighting to the finish. I don't care if you're down. I've seen 3 touchdowns scored in less than 2 minutes. So it ain't over until it's over. Now, you lose the fight, it's over. You can't, if you're battling at 80% and that guy in front of you is going 100%, I don't care how good you are or how talented you are, you're going to lose that battle. And if you're physically a little bit, underneath of the guy in front of you, you better let the animal out to be able to compete at that level.
All right, Joe, well said. And with that being said as well, we're going to move on to TCU. Max Duggan, we're going to go right to their offense under first year head coach Sonny Dykes. And you have to think of Max Duggan he probably is, for me, the top guy in the Heisman right now, one of them, because they remain undefeated. He's got 19 throwing touchdowns. He has 1 interception. They're 7-0, 4-0 Big 12. He's averaging 5 yards per rush. He's handing off to a running back that's averaging 6 yards per rush and another running back that's averaging 6.5 yards per rush. He's throwing for 262 yards a game. This guy, Max Duggan, Bees, we're going to start out with you, but Max Duggan is a guy that can hand the ball off, he can run, or he can throw the ball for success, and they're about averaging almost 45 points per game. Number 3 in the nation. What's your thing on the offense, man? Go ahead, spill it.
Oh, I was watching them a couple weeks ago, and I saw number 1. I think his last name is Johnson, the receiver.
Quentin Johnson.
When I saw this guy have 8 catches for 179 in the first half, I had to go back and watch him and dig up some like I still study the game, and I'm like, man, this guy is a top 10 receiver. He's a top 10 draft pick, God willing, staying healthy, and we have to actually get in his face. We can't just let him run routes because he's gonna chew us up. I ain't gonna lie. He was playing against a pretty good defense. It was an Oklahoma State game, and if he's doing that against them, we have to find a way to get him out of the game. I hope it's not like through injury, like we had to take a quarterback out a couple weeks ago. But I feel like our game plan has to be around stopping their pass first. Getting 4-man rushing the passer would help. I still see that we are not giving contain on our right side, and teams are still copying what they see the last week. We have to make some kind of adjustment. We have to do something different. What do we have to lose right now? Like playing the younger guys wouldn't be bad. Now you can know about development of talent, but we have to go out there and make plays against a really good offense. And it comes back to this. We got to be physical. That's the number one thing that I see missing in our team. We got to be physical.
Okay, let's go. Darius, you played against these guys recently. I think you played against Max because he's been for like forever. What's your take on him in the offense, and what's the keys for WVU?
I'd say just the game plan we went into up in his face quick. He wasn't never a quarterback that could really deal with the pressure. So we always had a 4-man rush every play, but we also had different DBs that were able to cover. So if we rush 3, we just got to just get there. But if we rush 4, we got to get there. Either way, we got to get there. So stop his the snowball effect from rolling is just be able to just get in his face and apply the pressure. His offensive line is very good. So he hasn't really been pressured like that. So what we got to do is just be different and apply that pressure or they'll lose. I mean, he always has always been like that. Ever since maybe things are different. I haven't watched TCU at all this year, but we're going to see about a couple hours of how he is. But just being able to apply that pressure and get in his face right away, and he'll be shook.
You know how he is. You know how he is, man. I'm going to say this to you, D, is he's playing as well as you played your senior year. Okay, because he's a guy that's a senior that knows the ins and outs. That is a guy that, like I said, I think he's in competition with Heisman if they keep going at that rate and what he's doing. He's playing that well, and that means that the Mountaineers, yes, they have to get to him, but yes, they have to corral him as well. Because those legs, he's big and he's strong. Let me go to you, Bees, Mikey C. Let me go to you, man, and you tell me about what you think. Bees told us what he thinks, but what do you think about looking at this TCU offense?
Well, it's almost like it's a recipe for disaster for us, if we're being honest. They active at running the ball. They have a dual threat quarterback who's a very efficient passer, good offensive line, and they have a go-to guy, like Aaron said, he's a top talent, and he and the 50 balls, he wins most of those 50-50 balls. And so, we're gonna have to make a conscious decision that we got to take away the run. we got to take away the pass. But we're not good enough to make a conscious decision to take one of those things away and try to make them one-dimension chance. Because if they, with that dual threat quarterback, and Aaron has mentioned this ago, we have problems with dual threat quarterbacks. We have problems with that guy who can create a play. So that's gonna lend itself to him, extend the receiver, getting behind our defense and big play. So we have to make it personally think we have to focus on shutting down the run and try to force them in. That'll be the only way that we can stay in the game, along with what we said a couple weeks ago, plays defensively, meaning turnovers. We've got to change the game that way, create some, and give our offense more opportunities. Because, like you said, Wolf, their average game, it could get really ugly today. I hate to say it, but it could be 60. I mean, seriously. So,
the average
that's our only
45,
chance.
right? Yeah. Okay. Excellent points, Mikey, as always, man. And Schmitty, you're looking at this offense now. Everybody is like, hey, you throw the ball, and he's got great receivers. I mean, he's got Darius Davis, he's got Quentin Johnson, he's got Tay Barber, and all that. But he's also got running backs that are averaging 6 yards per rush behind an offensive line that's 6'5", 6'6". All except for the center, who's only 300 pounds. Everybody else is 320 or greater on that offensive line, and they're a bunch of pullers. What are you seeing here on this offense? What are your keys, Owen Schmitt?
Well, we got to be able to disrupt, right? We got to be able to disrupt up front. I'd like to see a lot of maybe some twist games with maybe that bandit guy, changing some things up, making it difficult for them, not giving them the angle. Anytime you got a team that pulls, all right, we got to make sure we fill them gaps, right? And so, big thing for us to be successful, and we got to get pressure, just like Dante was saying. If we can't create the pressure and make the game hard for him, and we let it be easy.
You know what? I think
and Wolf, and forget about the run game too. But if we get dominated up front, it's just what the team that's got the penetration, man. It's just you move the line of scrimmage with the ball, you score points. You score points against a team that can't move the ball. It's not a good day. So my big key to the game is we got to get pressure on this guy plays.
Okay, and it's going to be penetration as well. You're saying on the D or with our D line, absolutely. Again, and I'm going to go one more point with that. Let's go back to Darius. Darius, it was so cool because I'd watch you and Dante, and I could see that there was kind of a look between the two of you guys, like when it was like it's time to go, and there was a real connection with you there. And Dante, although I will say that I still think he's playing really amazing, but he's getting double teamed. They're going and running away from him. They're doing everything they can on the defensive line or on the offense to take away from him as a defensive lineman. What has he got to do specifically in your mind to go ahead and make an impact today?
These guys accept the fact that his career, as long as he's here, they're not going to let him go through that same problem. When coming out my junior year, had that breakout year, then going halfway, I got upset with myself. I ain't make 6 tackles this game. What are they doing? And I was kind of, the better you are, the more they're going to key on you. And when they keyed on me, Dante was like 5. I'm telling him the tables have turned, and now you know how I felt whenever I was getting double, triple team one. I mean, there's no way I could get away from that. So I just had to eat it up and accept the fact that I'm being doubled every play. It's harder than you think. And so what you got to do is just be able to accept that as a compliment. No, Dante Stills gets single blocked, then the game's going to be over for us. Then just accept, and just Brian was saying, you got to just accept and play with that dog in you. I mean, if you, it's just, as a game of football, you need to play with that dog in you. I don't see what shouldn't be no I play with that dog or should I not. No matter if you're getting double, triple, quadruple team, I gotta just be able to cause something. I mean, I love getting double, triple team because I'm like, all right, it's something to me, and it takes 3 of you guys until there's 2 or 1. I mean, I'm gonna make a play. So really, just be able to accept the fact that it's a year and just be able to just fight through that. I mean, you all guys, your first round pick, play like it, because at the end of the day, first round pick, it doesn't matter if you're a first round pick or not. You're beating them double, triple teams and make plays. So it really comes down to accepting his role and just being able to.
I couldn't agree more. And I remember there were times when I was breaking down film for the Wolf's Den on TV, and you were getting triple teamed by two offensive linemen, and then a running back would come up and hit you as you were breaking through. So you know what you're talking about there for sure. And you know what? Okay, Joe. So why don't you go ahead, clean up on the offense? What do the Mountaineers have to do in your mind defensively to take it to the TCU home?
Well, I'm with these guys. They got to disrupt. They got to disrupt the offense, and in order to get pressure on the quarterback, if you're only going to bring 4, you got to coverage. You got to jam those receivers like our guys have been talking about, Mike and Aaron talking about, disrupting the route. That's what allows your defensive line to get a little bit of pressure. If we let that quarterback just stand back there and pick us up like they did last week, I mean, he was back there just, doing what he wanted to do. We gotta get pressure on him, like you guys have said. And in order to do that, everybody's got to do their job, because if they're triple teaming Dante, that means there's 2 free hitters running around. So get to the daggone football and make some daggone tackles. Everybody's got a job to do, man. But we got to do the right job. They're going to run these, you're saying about 30% of the time they're running them perimeter screens. You can't just let the guy catch it and start running. You got to get in his face, man, mug him up, and make sure you got over the top coverage so that if we do commit and miss, we've got somebody making the tackle, all right? And that means swarm tackling. Beast talked about earlier about running to the ball until it was over, all right? You got to get to the ball, man, and we just got to do a better job collectively defensively. And in my opinion, guys, and it falls back on the offense. The best defense is a good offense. We gotta run the clock. We gotta manage the clock better. We can't be calling freaking timeout after a TB timeout. We got to be sharp in what we're doing. We got to make good decisions, and that's just the way it is, man. We got to get the offensive line going. We got a few guys out. Committer's out. What about Milam? Is he questionable?
I think he's back. He's back.
He's okay, but he's a little dinged up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, hey, them young guys got to step up. This is, again, like I said earlier, man, opportunity, offensive opportunity. Get in there and do your job. You never know, man. Good things can happen. Give the core. We got great quarterback. We got great wide receivers. Our 3rd and 4th down conversions really aren't that bad. I mean, 4th down, we're like 70-something%. So, hey, man, have confidence in it. Hey, the way I look at it right now, you got nothing to lose, man. Like you said in the beginning, Wolf, this is a great opportunity for us. It's a great stage. I mean, these guys are ranked number 7. They're one of just a handful of teams still undefeated. Hey, knock them off. And a lot of this stuff we're talking about, we're going to keep talking about it, because it sounds like we talk about the same stuff every week, because the formula to win football games doesn't really change that much now, does it?
Well, that's why we have a Mountaineer Legends pregame, though, so we can hear the same thing over and over with you.
Sorry. It is what it is, man.
Yeah. Right.
And hey, maybe I'm old school, Wolf, but that's the way this game's played. And at the end of the day, all the noise, all the ancillary crap, it comes down to me against you. Me against you.
Well, that's what it is. And Joe's what you mean.
Well, not you, Wolf. I love you, Wolf.
Yeah, well, I love you too, big guy, brother. But listen, it's about 11 guys individually. What Darius says, bringing that dog out in themselves. And then when you do that, when you win your own battle, and then you have 11 guys believing that same thing, like Beasley said, it's that mentality. Like Mikey Collins said, all you guys, like the beard truck, Coke, all you guys said, when you have that mentality of 11 guys together of being nasty and bringing the dog out. And that's when you have something. And then you have offense do that, defense do that, and special teams do that. And then you have complementary football of bringing the dog out. And speaking of the dog, let's go ahead, Schmitty. And when you look at this defense of TCU, because I know you got something to say, man, about this. And you know what? If there's an Achilles heel, if there's a little bit of a weak link, this TCU team, it is their defense. They're giving up 27 points per game. They're giving up yards. They're 101st in passing yards allowed with 260. So, again, they're not flawless, and you can hurt them on defense.
Yeah, and, talking about this tenacity and toughness, we are one matchups, right? So when we are singled up, JT's got to be able to throw dimes, right, in the bucket, catch them 50 balls. And, what the theme of this whole show is attitude. That is absolute heart, right? That is heart. That is all. No special, recipe. I mean, you either want it. So we got to start believing in ourselves a little bit. And, we can make plays as well.
Schmitty, what happens when you replace uncertainty with confidence?
Oh, man. I mean, we see what's actually happening right now. This is what happens. Reminiscing about old stories with, like in the gun, Jed West. We were just talking about when at any point in the game, if we were ever struggling, there was never a doubt in our mind that somebody on the offense was going to make a play. Somebody on the defense was going to make a play. Or somebody on the special teams was going to make a play. That's what we're talking about. I mean, in my opinion, as far as the question goes, if you team throughout the locker room, you're every week you're going out, and it'd be hard for me to be confident thinking of that compete against my individual battles on the field, because ultimately, like you just said, so hopefully we can go out there, and guys got to understand. Look, regardless of what's going on, everybody's watching. So if you are watching your individual battles, okay, so you have to win on every play, and you have to. And when you lose, you forget about it. You move on, right? You got to have short-term memory. My key is, man, like we've all said, hey, bring it out, man.
Absolutely. Now let's go to you, Mikey C. This offensive line of the Mountaineers, they have an opportunity. There's a 3-man defensive front, but as Coach Brown said, that what they like to do is what the Texas Longhorns like to do at Texas Tech. They like to eat up all 5 of the offensive linemen. What do you see when you look at this TCU defense in their 3-3-5 scheme?
Well, to that point, they're eating. They want their next level guys to make tackles, make plays in space, and they've done. Yeah, they've given up some points, but they've been down double digits and come back and won. And the reason they've been able to come back and win in those games is they've made some plays each time. So it's that confidence, what you're talking about. What gives us a chance to win today is what you were saying, though. 100. They're giving up 27 points a game. We got to keep up. If we can some plays offensively, if we can stay in the game, then it gives our team an play in the second half, in the third quarter, and late in the fourth quarter. That makes that game. But it's going to be imperative for us offensively to keep up, to stay on schedule. JT has an opportunity to make a play. He's got to get that ball there. When our guys have an opportunity to catch that ball, so that'll be the key. And if we can stay in the game early, pose some pressure on them defensively with our offense, put some pressure on them, it'll give us a chance. Cautiously optimistic. So that's the key to the game. That's really the key to.
Yep. All right, Coke. So let's go to you here on this. And, what I'm seeing is that the Mountaineer defense has to limit the big plays of TCU for the Mountaineer offense to keep up, as Mikey C just said, Mike Collins did. And with that being said, that you're going to see the receivers, now they play a lot of cover 4, and I'm talking TCU. That's quarters, okay? But when they play cover 4 on the outside, it turns into man coverage. That means that Bryce Ford-Wheaton, Caden Prather, which they haven't been able to do against Texas at Texas Tech, is to get open in man coverage. So what do they have to do offensively in your mind to establish? I think they have to establish a run, but also make big plays. And I think they're a little soft down the middle in that cover 4 defense.
Absolutely. I'm going to start out with the theme of everybody. Play 1, we've got to punch them in the nose up front. Punch them in the nose. So they run that, as you talked about, the 3-man front, and you got Williams, true freshman at nose guard. I'm going to take Zach Frazier every day against this guy, period. One-on-one with a chip, no matter how you look, he's got to own that guy up front, right? You're right. From they 40% of the time they're in man coverage, which means they're locked. They're locked on the outside, which then means let's go run the ball at these guys and own the line of scrimmage, push up, push harder. And you got to work in these passes. So it comes down to Schmitt talked about it. It's those battle catches. There's going to be some battle catches. Let's put the ball on the outside shoulder of our receivers, and those guys are going to come down with it. We've got great receivers. In my opinion, we've got a great quarterback, right? Let's get the run going up front. Go run dive traps all day. Go at this guy. Go straight at this guy. The middle linebackers are pretty good, but if we can get that push right up front, 2, 3, 4 yards of carry, they give up 7.6 yards per catch. Well, that means if we get 2 yards on first down and 2 yards on second down and 7.6 yards on third down, we now have a first down. It's a little bit of math there, right? Wolf, I learned math.
You know what, though? You were pretty good always in math. Kind of pissed me off when you were my teammate. Go ahead, continue on.
So that's how we've got to think about this. Or more importantly, let's run on first down, maybe do that 7.6 yards on second down and run on third down, as opposed to wait until we have to run. Now everybody knows we're running the ball, right? Everybody knows we're going to pass the ball. So we've got to be methodical in our approach and not predictable, but punch them in the nose up front. Let's take our 5, regardless, Jamiter's out. I get it, right? Well, next man up. I guess maybe at this point, Zach Frazier needs to tell who's ever walking in, hey, don't screw up.
Yeah, I get you. I hear you. I heard that. Hey, now listen, that's a bright spot there. Thomas Remock came in against Texas Tech, and I thought he held strong. Now, Jordan White was a little hurt. He was in a little bit for Gamitter. But I thought Thomas stood up big time. So that was pretty impressive. Nice to see a young guy like that redshirt freshman come in and do that. And again, I think you're all right. I think the Mountaineers got to run the ball because those linebackers are playing 5 yards deep.
Yep.
Playing 5 yards deep. And if you can cover up those defensive linemen and you can get the other guys up to the next level, just to cover him up, even though Johnny Hodges is a heck of a player, the Will linebacker at 6'2", 240 pounds. I've never seen a Will linebacker 240. But regardless, in that defense, it works. And they could do that, control that line of scrimmage, then they can keep that offense of TCU off the field and limit those big plays. And then you got a game. And then you got a game within the game. And then you got a fighting chance. Joe's finish up there on the Mountaineer offense against the TCU Hornets.
Hey, Wolf, hey, Mountaineer fans are starting to come into the Charleston Sports Pub, as you can hear in the background. And it's awesome because, hey, we're going to be in here hopefully celebrating a big Mountaineer homecoming victory against this ranked opponent. And we've all said some really great stuff. I'm going to go back to what I go to every single week, and that's turnovers. We got to win the turnover battle. We got to be plus. We can't be giving the ball up because those those are momentum changers. Those are field position changers, and they're deflative. Man, they take away the momentum. But we got to be able to fight through that adversity as well. That means that we've got to help each other. We got to make plays, but we got to help each other get through those tough times. And like we've been talking real quick, as an offensive line, the challenge is on our offensive line. We have got to be able, like Coach said, man, we got to be able to single block as often as possible so we can get that hat to the next level. If that TCU defensive line is jamming us up 4 against 5 and they got that middle linebacker free to roam around, then we're going to have some problems. So, that's just got to happen. We've got to be able to protect. We got to let Daniel sit back here and do what he does best and get the ball to the wide receivers, but then you got to back up. Early on, we got to get a little running game going. That's where the confidence is at. Because if, as an offensive line, if I'm grinding and I'm punching and we're getting positive yards, that's confidence, and then that in turn opens up that passing game. But hey, turnovers, man, we got to win the turnover board, and we got to win special teams. We got to win special teams today. That's going to be a really important.
They got danger there, so that
yes, they do.
We're going to finish
yes,
this up. I can hear it's getting crazy over there, but let's not forget. Okay, the CJ Donaldson is starting today. He's back from the injury. Okay, so the Mountaineer line, but Jalen Anderson, the redshirt freshman, this is his opportunity to shine. He was all upset. Well, I mean, I can say he's all upset, but he got left out at camp when CJ Donaldson became a premier part of the offense. And so this is his opportunity to do so. So, Schmitty, as we close up here, I'm coming to you. Well, what's your keys to victory? Just your key to victory, and we're going to get you out of here, brother. What's your keys?
Keys to victory, right? Have to play with better body language. Got to bring the wood. Defensive line, and win our individual battles. Bring pressure, and O-line, time, wide receivers, win the battles, right? So the game is be competitive and win your one-on-one battle.
All right, very good. Hey, Joe, let me just say this one thing to you, man, is that ring is nothing like the new ones now, because all I see is a big knuckle. Okay, I don't see that.
Hey, I don't need the bling. I need
the blue
the
bonnet
W.
bowl, isn't it?
This says champion. This says champion. This
Blue
is the Blue Bonnet Bowl 1984. The only time I got to play TCU, we kicked their ass.
There you go. You know what? I'm impressed. You remember that and brought the ring. But Darius, let's finish up, man. What are your keys to victory today?
I say just playing how we supposed to play. I mean, we show it every other week. That we just got to be on a consistent basis. I mean, we say this a lot. We say this every week. When are we ever gonna just buy in and do it? But I say keys to just do it. I mean, as a college football player, why don't you want to win? Why you come here, bust your ass, all win them hard workouts, not to win? Like, and I got it upsets me because I'm like, I know how they are. They all want to make it to a certain point, but it's like y'all got to dig deep in yourselves, like, in order to do that. But keys to victory today is just play how we know we can play, and just be able to be on defense. We got no room for error. They can run in, they can pass. They got dual threat quarterback. Be good, and we got the tools to do it. We just got to be able to play as a team. So that's my keys to victory.
Excellent, Mikey C, man. What's your keys to victory, brother?
I was thinking about that. We're all talking on just a similar theme. Play with some physical, and, come out and show up and play football, but do at least 3 stops defensively in each half. A turnover would be great. We got to for our offense, and offensively, we've got to keep up. I mean, the reality is our defense isn't that good. That's the reality. Let's just be. They're gonna score. So it's imperative that our offense, we have to keep up. And if we can get to the fourth quarter, and maybe our crowd will be juiced then, and it will game in the fourth quarter with the top 10 opponent, Mountaineer Field, that crowd is going to be nuts. Now we're playing some Mountaineer football. So that'll be the key, in my opinion. We have to score points. We got to get 3 stops each half defensively. That's going to end. It's going to be difficult for us today. It's going to be extremely difficult for us today. So those are my keys.
All right, Coke, let's go ahead and go on to you. You know, maybe someone will have put something in the dinner last night. Maybe they're going to have some of the case of the trots there. WDU asked about, no, but what are your keys to victory?
So I'm going to start out and I'm going to say 6.5. One of the keys is what's 6.5? I need every single player to give me 6.5 seconds on every play of selling out. Play doesn't last longer than that. It seems like it lasts longer than that, but it doesn't. Give me 6.5 seconds on every single play of selling out. No uncertainty. No, I'm confused. No, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. 6.5 of selling out and punching somebody in the nose, right? Number one. And everybody's got to do that on every single play. Turnovers, that's all right. We know that one. It's the battle lines up front. It's the battle catches and run the ball. And we got to run the ball well until they put 8 guys in the box. Keep going, and they can't stop us. They can't stop us. They put 8 guys in the box, and now we go big. Let's let CJ unleash it because our wide receivers will beat their cornerbacks. There's no doubt in my mind. Bryce Ford, he'll win every catch. So let's give him a chance. So I think those are the keys, right? It's battle lines up front. It's win the battle catches, run the ball, and give me 6.5 seconds on every play, no matter what position you're at.
Excellent. I'll say you are Mr. Logistics. It really comes out in you what you do because I know you're in charge of that and all your shipping. So very good, Coke. That's great points, man. Honestly, Joe's.
Hey, Wolf.
You guys
hey, let me add something to what Coke said. I'm going to give you even more perspective. Let's say that play lasts 6 seconds, and on defense or offense, you run 70 plays, and you do the math. You know, that's only like 5 or 6 minutes of a football game that you really got to go, you know, balls to the wall. You know what I'm saying? So it's that from snap to whistle.
Yep.
What are you doing? I agree with you, Coke. Well stated.
I hear you, Joe's. And you know what? If we could get you in a 3-point stance, we might get 1.2 seconds out of you just coming off the line of scrimmage.
That ain't happening.
Maybe you come off and you fall down and they'd have to run around you because you're so dang big.
I trip somebody.
All right, Joe. So finish it up, man. What are the legends today? Because this is crunch time. And this really is a game. It's not a game of insignificance. This is a game of significance and what they can do to make a statement. And it might not even be a victory, but it has to be a statement either way about who they are, about who their identity is.
Well, that's it. You know, and their identity must be Mountaineer football. That's your identity. I mean, don't be looking for it. It's right there in front of you, and that comes from those seniors, those upperclassmen, wherever they came from. They're wearing that Mountaineer uniform. It's your duty to us as legends. When we look at that game, I don't want to see anybody giving up. I don't want to see that. So you know, make us all proud. Make the fans proud. There's a bunch of them out there that are on your side. All that naysayer stuff. There's only a handful of them people, and you ain't never gonna please them. I don't care. Bottom line is, hey, let's get behind them and let's see if we can pull out a victory today because we all need it. We all need it. What a statement this would be. What a statement this would be. I'm excited. I hope they can put it together, Wolf.
You know what? I think it's all well said by everybody. Even I see Aaron Beasley out there playing around with Mikey C. You know, don't know why you weren't available, Bees, because your laptop is always pretty good, man. But listen, fellas, thank you so much. It's been great. You know, I love this. This is just Mountaineers getting together and talking. Guys who've been on the field, guys who've been in the action, fellas that have been in the huddle and won some games, lost some games, having a total understanding, a complete focus on what it is to be a Mountaineer. And we'll just sum it up with this, man. Go play Mountaineer ball. That's it. I have nothing else to say. Fellas, I love you, man. We're going to go ahead. We're going to let you go. Enjoy, man. Hey, what is that again? What's the place there, Joes? One more time.
Hey, let's go Mountaineers. We're at the Charleston Sports Pub in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina with the Low Country fans in the house. We're going to have some fun, man. It's going to be a good time.
Let's
time.
Let's go.
Low Country.
Go
Sounds like you're right at home, Joes, with Low Country.
Easy, big fella, easy.
All right, man. Hey, thank you to our sponsor, Parmar Stores.
Thank you.
There's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be one soon. They just added another one, Joe. They have like 18 more before the end of the year, man. It's crazy how they keep doing it and keep adding more and more. So we want to thank them. This is great, man.
Well, think about what they're doing for those communities. They're bringing work, they're bringing jobs, they're supporting within the community all the kids' things that they're involved with. That Parmar group is a great bunch of folks, and we appreciate them allowing us to represent and them making this happen for us. So, hey, let's go Mountaineers from Low Country, Charleston, South Carolina.
We're out.
Hi, I'm Sean Martin. I'm from West Virginia. And when I'm back home in First County, you'll find me at my local Parmar store.
We had that golden pride at Parmar. There are literally hundreds of Parmar stores in West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, and Pennsylvania, and even more on the way. Download the Parmar app to save even more. And whether it's food, gas, groceries, or whatever, we have you covered at Parmar. West Virginia proud, West Virginia strong, and ready to serve you.
If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
Where do the true gold and blue faithful go for the best in beer, burgers, pizza, wings, and more? It's the Mountaineer Tap House on the Evansdale campus. Mountaineer Tap House features well over 40 craft beers on tap, plus the best appetizers, salads, burgers, wings, pizza, and tacos the University City has to offer. Enjoy their exclusive craft cocktails too. Dine on the balcony or chill out inside with walls and walls of TVs. Follow Mountaineer Tap House on social media. Mountaineer Tap House, second floor above the Parmar store on the Evansdale campus.